Yeah, my name's John Viner. I'm the service user involvement carer and involvement worker for Hounslow and Voiceability and involvement in Ealing as well. I just want to talk about hope in mental health and mental health services. We hear that word a lot. If you don't have hope, what have you got? Well, I'd like to say that we saw the magnificent victory of Syriza in the Greek elections on Sunday. It's an example of people, ordinary people, getting together, standing up against the bosses and the gangsters, the banksters, I should say, who have laid waste to services and the economies across Western Europe. I want to see a campaign like that set up in this country. We've got the trade unionist and socialist coalition, who will be standing up to 1,000 council candidates and 100 parliamentary candidates on May the 7th on the No Cuts, No Austerity programme. I've got the poster here. If you're going to vote Tory, that's vicious cuts. Liberal Democrat, progressive cuts. Unfortunately, New or Blue Labour, better our cuts than their cuts, but with Tusk, it's no cuts. We can stand up and fight. The Labour Party was formed by ordinary working people to fight for the working class. We need a party that fights for our class. The Tories fight for their class. We need to stand up for ordinary people. Just to talk about, I've been working in involvement for about 7 or 8 years, full-time for most of that time. We've seen 360 degrees attacks on mental health service users. We've not only seen closures of day centres and drop-in centres, we've seen increasing, accelerating closures of acute beds. In Ealing, I just learnt on Tuesday they're going to close yet another ward because our trust is committed to opening 2 crisis houses, which I welcome, and I was involved in getting that programme off the ground. But we cannot afford to see any more acute beds closed. They are killing our people. That's what they're doing. I think we know that people, and I know for a fact, there are people being discharged before they're ready to be discharged. And what they're doing, they're playing Russian roulette with those people's lives, because some of those people then get readmitted within 3 days. The bed pressure, staff come to me all the time. They have to make increasingly very difficult life and death decisions with people. And also the knock-on effect is staff then go off sick because their caseloads are doubling. One person I know in Ealing, 47 on her caseload. You can't possibly get around to see 47 people. Joe has mentioned the Solace Centre in West Ealing. It's the only out-of-hours, 365 days a year centre in the borough, one of the biggest boroughs in the country. The Labour-led council wants to close it to save £103,000 a year. There was an acrimonious debate in the council chamber on Tuesday night. We got over 2,000 signatures to oppose that closure. Joe Brand sent a letter of support. People from all over the country who've had family members have their lives saved by that service, saying hands off our drop-in, hands off our Solace. Another thing I'm sick of hearing about is mental health professionals or people parachuting in saying to service users, "Oh, what do you want from services?" People say we want day centres, we want hot meals, we want our own places to go to. "Oh, you can't have that, but what do you want from services?" And round it goes, and then people die. I've known people, I've been to funerals of people that have unfortunately taken their own lives because they've had those services taken away from them. And it's got to stop. I think what we need is a website where all the day centres and such like services can register, so that one of those is threatened with closure or funding cuts and all the others get to know about it. And then they can weigh in with a national campaign. We've got to draw a line somewhere because services are shrinking, demand is growing. In Greater London, by 2020, there's supposed to be another 1 million people living in Greater London. And the last thing I say is an injury to one is an injury to all. Thank you very much.